Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ ATS Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Okay, here we go. Bird is still hanging out at home today. He said that at the end of the regular show, though, he's feeling much better. He's been dancing around. So he's hopefully on the rebound. No more fever. It's all good. So you shook it off, huh, Bird?
I told your ass he was.
Okay.
Like, I'm fine.
Okay, that's good. We need you in your prime. Okay, so hopefully Bird back with us tomorrow. Got a couple things like we always seem to do here on the After the Show podcast. We clean up a couple different comments and topics that happen in the regular show. We had received an email from one of our listeners that has her own business cleaning, and she cleans for a high-profile woman. We didn't get exactly who it was, but it sounded like one of those rich, famous type of people that might be in South Florida. And this person had accused her of stealing clothes. She said, "How dare you accuse me of that? I'm not a thief." And then it turned out it was the maintenance guy had moved them. And so the woman had called her back and wants her to continue to clean for her because apparently she does a good job. But she's like, "I didn't get an apology or anything." And so we were just discussing, would you go back? And we got a couple comments. One person had texted in, said on that, because Virginia was like, no, she called me a thief, and I'm going to move on. She said, Virginia needs to wake up and see the reality. Finding work is very hard in the real world, and if I was that house cleaner, I would go back. The connections could lead to more clients, as well as make you make more money. It is a job, not a relationship. You're not talking about a personal relationship, but because it's a job, you might make more concessions on something like that, was one person's thought.
I mean, I would have to just see how much more money she's paying me than an average client to put up with that. I mean, being accused of being a thief is pretty heavy, and I'm not the kind of bitch that can look past that. Once you accuse me of being a thief, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be weird between us. I hold a grudge. Sorry.
Yeah, and I guess that would just be it. You would have to say, you know what, for the betterment of my career, maybe I'll just swallow that. And I think that's probably a lot of these people who deal with rich, wealthy people, that probably a lot of times is the question. Because the one thing I have definitely noticed, you know, my wife has worked and my mother-in-law in places where, you know, they're kind of in that circuit and are very close to what this emailer would be.
Sure.
And I have seen that firsthand, that they really do. They pass around the same people. They all use the same pool cleaner, same this, same that. And so once you get into that circuit, then you start building, and then you're just that person. And I have seen those people then who elevate themselves to a high level because they are the person all the rich, famous people use. And the reason is because it's the word of mouth that goes around in that circle. And so if you don't have any other fingers in that and don't have anybody else in that, I would probably be more inclined to swallow my pride a little bit on that. And not that you're being a pushover, but you're saying, okay, I need to make some other connections, hopefully. And then, you know, if you continue to be nasty to me, of course, I'd maybe give you one strike. And if you did it again, be like, look, you're a biatch, and, you know, nobody needs that kind of treatment. Somebody, Grant in the chat room said, I would go back and then steal everything.
Go back and then steal those specific clothes she accused you of stealing.
Okay, what do you think now? What do you think now?
That's funny.
Okay, so that was one thought on that.
I mean, I couldn't work for somebody who accused me of being a thief and didn't apologize. First thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I would just put my energy into marketing myself to different wealthier people.
Okay.
I would get bigger and better than her.
Mm-hmm. Somebody had said you could politely decline to return. Think about it. The client didn't apologize, and if she told her friends about it, she probably will not go back to her friends and set the record straight.
Right.
It could ruin the opportunity you talk about being in the rich circle of clients and ruin the cleaning lady's reputation in that circle, and that would be absolutely terrible because it is nice when you can get in there. Somebody said a surprise little twist here. My cousin cleans Justin Bieber's house, and she says that he's extremely kind and always accommodating.
Well.
How about that? Yeah. He seems to be trying to do his best to make amends for the old peeing in the mop bucket Justin Bieber of his youth. I saw he went to a prison in L.A. He's kind of
What'd he do?
He's a preacher now. He's going and spreading the word of God to those who are locked up.
I was hoping he was going as an inmate.
No, he's trying to stay on the other side of it now, apparently.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, so who knows? Old Biebs.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I keep having to pod you down because you keep making some fidgety noises, and then people are like, Bird's not up. Oh, really? People can't hear you? Suits, we can't. Oh, okay. Oh, dang. So they can't hear.
He's talking and nobody hears him? Oh, dude.
Okay. Oh, dang. Okay. All right.
Damn. And you actually said some funny stuff for once. They didn't hear it.
And now we can't fight back.
This is great. No, stay on.
Yeah. Maybe we could have you call in. Maybe you can just do a phone or something like that. I don't know.
It's the podcast. At this point, yeah, do a phoner.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh, wait, the phones don't work.
Probably. This Mickey Mouse operation, who knows? Yeah. Nothing's working. What do we got here, Suits? All right, Suits is going to uncomfortably reach over me and try to fix
See
this.
if that fixes the issue.
Okay, am I going back to him now? Or is he there?
Try talking to him.
Okay, hello, Bird?
Am I coming in
I got
clear?
nothing now.
Well, we could hear him no problem. It's just a matter of if the audience can hear him.
Yeah.
This is one of our best podcasts.
I might start drinking.
Okay.
Are you drinking? You're at home.
Okay, I think people can hear you.
Yeah.
People can hear you now. Okay. All right. Now Bird is finally a part of the entire show. We just heard all the genius that he gave us just a minute ago. And just in time for this email from Carlos, another loose end from the regular show that we were talking about earlier, was on the makeup or breakup. We'd had this girl talking about she thought she was with the perfect guy, 5 dates, and then that's when he says, yeah, my ex-girlfriend is about to give birth in a month to our child. And she's like, geez, I don't know. Do I want to stay in a relationship with a guy that's got this coming on? He's going to clearly be distracted, being a new dad. You got the ex-girlfriend. What other kind of complications might happen? Carlos said, it's so typical that nowadays nobody cares about being asked questions, see what the real situation is. And you're right. What is the story with the ex-girlfriend? Why is she the ex-girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know. Unfortunately, that's the one problem with having the one-sided emails that do come in, is we have to fill in a lot of blanks, and it wasn't thorough enough to give us the whole story.
But if he is that fantastic, then maybe he's worth it. Maybe he's worth going through a little bit of weirdness and trying to navigate this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's great in every other way, he's got a massive dong, is what I heard.
Well, first of all, not everyone's a size queen, and that doesn't really mean that doesn't always equate to great sex, okay? You don't have to have a donkey dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and why was the whole reason why he had the ex? And, maybe it was just, look, they just realized they didn't get together and it was a dysfunctional relationship, but here you are, she's pregnant. Those kind of things happen. Look at Tom Brady's situation. Remember that?
Yep,
He
Bridget
knocked-
Moynihan.
Yeah, he had knocked her up, and then they split, and it's like, oh, guess what? I'm carrying your baby, and they didn't get back together.
They did not.
And then, so imagine, look, imagine it was Tom Brady, and Tom Brady could be the guy in this situation. I've got like the perfect guy. He's got perfect hair. He's won many Super Bowls, but he's got a pregnant girlfriend. Imagine if. What's his wife's name now?
Giselle Bundchen.
Imagine if Giselle had been like going, nah, I'm punting. See the life she would have
Punting.
left behind. That's a football term, Virginia.
I don't think anybody's pissing away at Tom Brady.
But,
Right.
to the like, that would
It
be the
could be-
situation. The advice to Giselle would have been, dump this Tom Brady toad.
No.
He ain't worth it.
I think you give him a shot and you try to figure this out, and you don't break up with him until there's actual drama. So far, there's been no drama. You don't even know the details. Give this whole thing a shot. Let it air out a little bit. Let the baby be born and see what happens. And if it begins to be dramatic or painful or upsetting, then you can make that call.
Okay. And Carlos said, Jaybird, sorry, dude, but your view in relationships is whack. Oh, okay.
Hey, Carlos, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Elena had sent in this email. She said, I thought this was kind of interesting. I was watching a documentary on Netflix called Made You Look, a true story about fake art, and it's about the biggest art scam in history. An art dealer who worked for Knoedler was fooled by a woman who sold her a lot of fake art, which she sold to her clients. The scam was for $80 million, and guess who owned Knoedler? Knoedler.
That is tied to Armie Hammer's family.
It was Armie Hammer's dad, Michael
Yep.
Hammer, that owned that.
So Michael Hammer is the one that took all the money and was super shady about it. And Michael is Armie's dad. So Armie probably grew up watching his dad be so shady and do
Yeah,
some crazy and screw his own family and change the will and do all this insane stuff. I've deep dove into the Armie Hammer family situation, and it is fascinating.
It does sound like it is fascinating.
It really is. But you can see why Armie is the way he is, all twisted and effed up. His dad was that way, and his dad's dad was that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Don't let him deep dive into you.
That's right. Yeah, he'll try. With
Yeah.
his teeth.
Armie Hammer has no problem getting chicks either. Even with all this crazy stuff and the accusations that are out there about him, there are still so many hot, fine-ass actresses sliding in his DMs as we speak. And he's in the Caymans hiding out. He may never come back. But there might be charges soon that he has to answer for. There's accusations that are kind of crazy about a girl that went missing near a place that he was staying by that Joshua Tree area. Mm-hmm. And they think that he may have had something to do with that.
Okay. Interesting.
There's some crazy allegations. This thing's not over.
Okay. Well, on the Netflix tip here, they are going in a different direction that is away from binge watching, which to me seems like one of the greatest assets and creations that Netflix came up with, the concept of watching show after show. And it's changed how we view TV. So why you would go away from the concept, I don't get this. They say that 2 upcoming shows now are going to be released weekly, not all at once, and this is done intentionally because they want viewers to have time to dissect each episode.
What a bunch of horse shit.
I just don't understand this, and to me, it's actually, first of all, unnecessary, because you do have some shows that can still come out weekly, but to even comment on that and say we need or dissect them, what are you going to do? You have like a TV club? Is that what they're talking about?
It's almost kind of insulting.
Well,
It is.
I'm wondering, and to me, this is the viewing habit thing. And does Netflix see something? Is there something here that we are not privy to? Because as I looked at this, I'm like, at first it seems like it's unnecessary. Like, why even say anything? Just come out with the damn episodes one at a time. But it seems like they're intentionally telling us that they want viewers to have time to dissect each episode, because I think they want us to get into a new way of watching TV. And maybe what Netflix is seeing, and this is all guessing, but tell me if this makes some sense. Binge watching in many instances has become an individual project that people do alone because it's hard to stay on the same page with somebody when it comes to binge watching.
That's true.
My wife last night, I was talking about that show that we're binge watching together. She actually asked me, she's like, are you really into this show still? I'm like, I'm into it enough. She's like, because if you don't want to watch it anymore, I'll go on ahead and, because she wants to watch it faster than I do.
Oh.
She, like I said, she's a lot more invested than I do, and I'm dragging my heels too much, and she really wants to tear through it. So maybe Netflix is seeing this where it's hard to keep people on the same schedule of binge watching. And also in my family, I noticed my oldest son, Colin, he was watching, I think they're watching the old Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he and about 2 or 3 of his friends, and they're doing the viewing where they watch the episodes together. And they're commenting on them in real time. And I guess what Netflix is calling dissecting each episode and taking time with it. And they're all trying to stay on the same schedule. Even though that's a show that's been out and all the episodes that they're ever going to do are done, that's how they're watching now. And so now, see, instead of getting one person that is binge watching by themselves, if you're Netflix, I think he has 3 or 4 people watching together. You've just quadrupled the amount of people you have watching a show.
Interesting.
And I'm wondering if this is where they're really going to try to push all of us and invest more in the future of us doing group watching. Because think of the virtual world. We're trying to still connect with people, but we still got the pandemic. And so my son was doing this. They were all in different locations. So you can do this and still, remain COVID compliant.
You watch it together, but it's Netflix set up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that they are trying to now start to retrain us away from binge watching to group watching to take time to dissect. So if you loved where they would drop an entire season, I don't think Netflix is going to do that anymore because that's not how they want you to watch the shows anymore. They want to now slow down your viewing because it would bring more people into the party for each show. And I think for them, they're probably sick of spending all this money on these shows that aren't getting traction. So if they slow down our watching, then they may get more bang out of their buck because we've always found that you work hard to create this content and then you don't promote it well enough or it just doesn't take off for whatever reason because people don't see it or they're too busy with something else. And then you feel like you wasted that time, that effort of that money into it.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling Netflix is maybe looking at that. I don't know that I like it.
It's stupid.
But I have a feeling, I'm just guessing, that is it. And that might be something that we see a lot more in the future.
It's dumb. That's not how people want to consume their content. It's a stupid thing, and they're doing it for selfish reasons.
It feels to me like it's something that Netflix wants to do, and they
For
want us to do.
Netflix.
Yeah, for Netflix.
Yeah.
And they're hoping because they trained us to binge watch.
Right.
And now it seems like they maybe want to train us to not binge watch.
Well, you guys
group
created
watch.
this monster. It's your fault. You talked us into binge watching. Now we like it.
That's a great point Jamie's got in the chat room. No more Netflix and chill. So what? You only get to round second base on episode 1? You have to wait a week to round on them titties?
Yeah, yeah. And Engineer Keys said in the chat room, I'm annoyed with how many shows Netflix doesn't finish. So frustrating to get invested and then not have a conclusion to it. And that might be what you're seeing is they're realizing we're pumping a lot of money into this. There was a show on HBO that I loved. It was called Vinyl. Great cast, great first season. And they should have done a second one, but they just said, it doesn't quite meet the mark of successful enough. And they killed it. And there was so much more to tell in that story and those characters. I felt like at the end of it, I'm like, I feel like I kind of wasted a whole season. Like I really needed more for this. And maybe Netflix sees that and they feel like they're wasting a lot of money with programs that just don't get enough traction for them to warrant making the next season they want to.
I loved Vinyl. I thought Vinyl was such great fun to watch. It was shot great. And HBO's got a few shows where the second season, third season, they just cancel it out of the blue, and they're very, very good programs.
Mm-hmm. And somebody just texted in and said, they clearly know what other groups are doing, and Disney has been doing this with The Mandalorian, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They're the most popular shows ever, and they keep breaking records. And that might be part of it as well, that if you throw them all out there at once, you don't have that. They don't get as much effect as they want.
They put a lot of psychological testing into all of these
absolutely.
decisions. So
No,
they've spent probably hundreds of thousands researching how to do this right and manipulate you the best.
That was the thing that was fascinating when I was talking to the BuzzFeed guy over the weekend. Was he was just telling me how much they test and how much they stare at numbers. That's all they do all day long.
I believe it.
And that's BuzzFeed. So I imagine Netflix is the same way. Disney's the same way. They just have people in rooms that get numbers and they stare at them all day. And they're saying, okay, where are the trends going and how do we change it? And they're now realizing that we'll get more numbers to go single episodes.
Did you just open a beer?
No, it was a Mountain Dew.
All right.
How many Mountain Dews you had today? People are keeping track.
Chug, 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 chug.
I know people are accusing me of having more than, this is honestly my second Mountain Dew. Just my second, I swear.
Okay.
People think I'm lying about my Mountain Dew intake, and they think I'm lying about Tika.
Well, we know you're lying about Tika.
Virginia, I swear on our friendship, that is a true story. In fact, J.R. Furman, you know him very well. He can tell you that story in great detail.
Interesting. All right, I'll be grilling him later. You let him know.
Good.
On the Disney Plus tip, they finally did announce that Marvel's Black Widow is going to be released simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus premiere on July 9th. That is the date for that now. That film was going to debut May 1st of 2020. And now it's July 9th of 2021. That's how far pushback that got.
Interesting.
They also are going to release the live-action 101 Dalmatians prequel, Cruella. It's going to get a theatrical and Disney Plus premiere access debut on May 28th.
I hear they're making it rated R.
Yes. Very nice. And you might care about this, Jaybird. AMC is developing an animated prequel to Better Call Saul called Slippin' Jimmy.
Ooh, I love it. Yes, I'm a fan of the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul franchise. I love it.
Who's Jimmy?
That's Saul.
It's Saul. It's his original name. His name, he was known as Slippin' Jimmy, and then he went to Better Call Saul was basically a Saul Goodman. It's because it sounded like Saul Good, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. He might be my favorite actor, honestly. I really love him. I've loved him since I was a teenager.
I'm not sure how I feel about the animated part of it, though. It's an animated prequel.
Oh, man. You said animated?
Animated prequel, yeah. And it's
I didn't hear that part, Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, but it's got Slippin' Jimmy and his brother Chuck McGill and their time together in Cicero, Illinois. That's what that's going to be about.
Yeah, that movie or that show, Virginia, it made me want to become a sleazy lawyer.
Okay.
But you've always wanted to yell, objection!
So many times in my life.
And then the producers of Hot Ones are partnering with AMC on Run the Dish, a Walking Dead-inspired cooking show featuring cuisines from the apocalypse.
What?
Okay.
All right.
I know.
Y'all
what?
need to sit down with that dumb idea.
What?
Edibles kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a little busy.
Yeah. Other quick note, Simpsons hit their 700th episode on Sunday. So.
And let me guess, they predicted the future again.
Probably, yeah. I got this email from Janelle. She said, Kevin, check this out. Last night on Wheel of Fortune, they did a Foo Fighters song.
Oh.
It was song lyrics. That was a cool little category. And it's times like these you learn to live again. A song from the Foo Fighters that really started to emerge during the pandemic. They had done that group version when everybody was still really hunkered down and quarantining, and everybody kind of did a piece to it, all these celebrities. I remember they had Dua Lipa in there. And
it was cool.
Yeah, and the lyrics really stood out. And you're like, wow, that is a great song. And earlier today, we were talking about the best music moments in movies. And as we started talking about them, there are several songs that changed for me. Tiny Dancer, Sweet Home Alabama, Bohemian Rhapsody, all when they were shown in movies, they went to a different level to me. And, what I think is interesting, I think there is a tag or a level to some songs that, at least for me, I would put in the category of epic. It is an epic, all-time great song. And, recently there was a viral moment that, to me, put a Fleetwood Mac song into that category.
Sure, Dreams.
And my mother-in-law picked me up the other day, and she, she's always jamming out to Sunny, our sister station that plays.
I love it.
They do play some epic jams, and that was on. I'm like, gosh, it's just a really good sounding song.
It is beautiful.
It just doesn't age, and it will sound good in any era. And it's just one of those songs that you could just hear over and over again. And I started thinking about what songs would I put in an epic category, and how could you argue them? Because, I'm going to run right home today, Virginia, and I'm going to have a new playlist called Epic.
Epic Kev.
Epic Kev. I'm going to have my epic playlist, which will probably sound a lot like Sunny, but I also want to put stuff in there. Like, I would argue The Killer's Mr. Brightside.
It's a great song.
Is one of those songs, even though it's, now I guess it's 17 years old. But
Fuck.
I know, right? Dude,
Are you okay?
17 years old? Damn, we are old.
2004.
Shit.
Yeah, Hot Fuss. That's the album it dropped on. Yeah, 17 years on that one. But I would start putting that song into that epic category where it's like, that's just an amazing song. And there were some other ones that I was trying to think of, like, what else would I put into this playlist? Aerosmith, Dream On.
It's a great one, yeah.
Is just an epic song. You can't get tired of that. You listen to the lyrics, and it's almost like there's poetry in it. There's a story. You can sing along to it. Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure, I would put in that epic category. It's just an amazing song like that. I already mentioned Elton John's Tiny Dancer. Probably Billy Joel's Piano Man.
Yeah.
So they're like an Elton John or a Billy Joel. They've got several that you could replace it with. You say a Piano Man, I'd say something different, like an Only the Good Die Young. You say Tiny Dancer, I say I'm Still Standing. I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and that's where I just wonder where the argument is. And you talk about testing; they probably even have numbers, and that's why they, you hear these songs on Sunny, because they are tested, tried and true. That it's just, and it's almost like the song needs to mature to a certain level, and it may not break into epic status until it's 15, 20 years old, or it's used in a movie, and then you're just like, damn, that really it takes on a whole new life. And in the American culture, it becomes what I would put in the epic category.
When you play that song September, it doesn't matter like what you're playing that song to. Everybody loves that song.
That's a good call. Yeah,
There's a lot of good songs about September.
Yeah? How many? Name them.
September Morn by Neil Diamond. Wake me up when September ends. Green Day.
That's true, yeah.
You got September, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You've got September Lover by the Fuck Ups.
You're making shit up now.
That's how I got
I think you named two.
I named three.
Or did you name one?
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, so that would be my challenge. Like, what songs, and it would be debatable. And the first place to look is just kind of scan down Sunny's playlist and be like, okay, what do they have on that? Because I think they've got a lot of those that are on
and
there.
they put the work in.
Yeah, but it's arguably, you say, okay, just through the time, that is now graduated to what we would put that in. If you had to say the greatest songs ever in American, or just even music history, to open it up to everybody else, what are those songs that have reached epic status? So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And I got to put together that Kev playlist.
How cozy would it be to do a sunny shift on 107.9, like a Sunday afternoon shift, just like 3 hours? Isn't that kind of cozy? No?
Didn't you do the Love Hour on Valentine's Day?
And I loved it.
Well, tell Randy. We'll give you that shift every week. Get
I
you
know.
in here on a Sunday night, wind in the week.
For free.
Yeah, you really should. We could hook that up. We do have that station.
I'll call her right now. I'll tell her you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. That is ours. Got an email here from Matt. He said, hey, guys, I've been really depressed lately. I lost my mom a couple of months ago.
Oh.
And he has a request. Is it possible for Jaybird to sing Billy Joel's Piano Man.
Aw.
I'm the dude who was bugging the shit out of him about closing costs, but a house wasn't in the cards, yet you can't afford much for whatever it is. So anyway, he has a request there. He would like to hear a little bit of Piano Man. Jaber, do you feel in the mood to sing a little bit?
Right now, is that he wants it now?
Give it, yeah.
I don't know. We could do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow when I'm in studio. So I can bring the guitar in. We all can sing it together. It'll be more special.
Okay.
I think he just wants you.
Yeah, I don't think he wants us to check.
He
It's the
doesn't want
KVJ show. We are an extension of each other.
Is it possible for Jaybird to sing Piano Man? That's it. There's nothing about, I would hate to spoil it because the request wasn't for us.
P.S. Tell those other two clowns not to say a word.
Right. Tell them to shut up.
I think it would hit harder in person together. There'll be a synergy, as they say in the business.
Okay. All right. We'll try to remember that tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, am I fucking everything up?
No.
No.
Okay.
You're so paranoid.
Oh, man, I'm so paranoid.
Because you're not in the room, so you're so paranoid.
Well, I haven't been around anybody for 2 days, so it's
Yeah.
I start to think weird with my thoughts. I started getting paranoid.
You're pretty weird when you are around people, too.
You miss that, don't you?
I miss the seagull. Quack, 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 the crow.
Can't wait. You can't wait. Well, there you go. I'll feel even better, Bird. Hopefully we get you back in here tomorrow. And we're almost to the weekend, man. We only got 2 days left of this.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's over?
Yeah, it's over, my man. You get to go about whatever it is you're going to do today. What are you doing today?
I'm going to be prepping for a Weird and Whatever podcast. We're going to be going at 6 p.m., and it will be coming up on our KVJ YouTube page.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So make sure you check that out tonight and then check us back here tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.